Good morning, good afternoon, and good night to some of you Biafrans. I have to apologize for not making an announcement or sharing this very broadcast on any WhatsApp group because I noticed that whenever I made an announcement, the Zoo Nigerian government and their agents used that very opportunity to suppress the very broadcast. So if you're going to watch this very program later, I apologize for that. My name is Mazi Odinkebankandele Chineke. And this very program today is directed to some of our brothers and sisters who are still confused. And then also this very message is directed to Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba. As one of the respected top official on the Abazomia freedom. I want to first of all begin with an article that I wrote on the 14th of this very month of January 2024. I wrote that very article of what I saw, which a lot of Biafrans have seen it. After writing that very article and to put some necessary questions on that very article that I wrote, 7 days after, a voice note followed it up, which I'm going to first of all read that very article. Just like I said some time ago, that most of the war to fight both the enemy within and outside is being done on WhatsApp group, Telegram, because this is where we can easily reach our people. And then also, it is not going to be expensive for them to listen to that very message. Because we know that Nigerian government can never ever allow our message of gospel to preach to our people with a common sense to pass through the social media. Or the purpose of making these very broadcasts on these social media is to direct this very message to Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba. Because this is only place that I can be able to reach him. And like I said, the message that I wrote, or the article that I wrote on the 14th of this very month of January 2024. Let me bring it to the screen so that I can see it. And this very message directed based on what I saw on social media. You understand what I'm saying now? Based on what I saw on social media, and I go with a question. After saying this. Let me show you. You can see that this is the person that I refer right now as the chief coup plotter, whom plotted a coup against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu on the 8th, 9th, and 10th of October 2023. Many people saw it. Many of our people kept a blind eye. Now, this very tweet that he tweeted, in this very tweet, he is defending the Fulanis. according to his tweet, to prove to you that he is no longer in the track of the Biafra movement. You're also saying now, sir, Dr. Cho Ayaba, I don't know how you run your affairs, but my message here is to send you this message direct. If you are dealing with Simon Ekpa, whom I call now the chief coup plotter, he is not fighting for the restoration and the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Rather, he is now defending the Fulanis using the supposedly social media platform that meant for Biafra to be restored. He is now using it in order to defend the Fulanis. This is one of his articles. You also say now, this is one of his articles. And in this very article, he said this criminal here was busy shouting Simon Ekpa to distract people while he was busy killing the Fulanis and dumping their corpses in the forest. Whom is he referring to? He is referring to this very man. I don't know his name. You also say now, he is referring to this very man. This very capture, which you saw here, is what is being going on the social media of the Nigerian government. And it says, body of 11 Fulanis arrested by soldiers found in Kaduna forest. This very article is from one of the Nigerian newspaper. You also say now, what Simon did is to prove to the Fulanis, is to tell the Fulanis that this man is lying, that this man is killing Fulanis. This is the message that he is passing to the Nigerian government led by Fulanis. And that is why he backed it up with his own tweet. And he says, this criminal here was busy shouting Simon Ekpa to distract people while he was busy killing Fulanis and dumping their corpses in the forest. He went on to say that he made this very exposition here on X. And finally, evidence is here. You also say now, evidence is here. So, this is to prove to the people of the Afrans who are still doubting or contemplating if the chief coup plotter Simon Ekpa is fighting for the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu and the Afro restoration. You also say now, another one, because we're going to take it step by step. Here is another tweet. He said, Musa is a coward. This is the same Simon Ekpa. Musa is a coward after exposing how he is killing the Fulanis in Kaduna. He is not, this message is going direct to Dr. Lucas Cho Ayaba, one of the governing body and respected in the Abazomia freedom movement. If you are dealing with Simon Ekpa and you are fighting the Cameroonian government in order to give you your referendum and the freedom of your people, and you are making sure that you hold your territory, you remove anything that had to do with a Cameroonian government in your own land for them to give you your right and give your people a referendum which they deserve. Simon Ekpa that you are working with, he is working with the Fulanis. He is working with the Nigerian government in order to keep our people in bondage. He is not fighting for the freedom and the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And this is a proof. This is what made me to write that very article that I wrote, which I put a lot of question mark in it, which we're going to go through that very article that I wrote. He tweeted and said, Musa is a coward after exposing how he is killing the Fulanis in Kaduna and using Simon Ekpa to distract the people. He is not denying it. He can take responsibility of killing Fulanis. This very response is also followed up with an article that they captured, or he captured, from one of the newspaper of the Zoo Nigerian government, where that very message from an official media platform of the Nigerian army, he said, misreading news. The general public is what did he say here? Is finally requested to disregard the mischievous allegation against troops of the division and to continue to cooperate with the First Division and other security agencies so as to rid of our area of responsibility of terrorism, insurgency. This is a fact, and this is a proof for some of you, some of our brothers in this very movement that are still contemplating if Simon Ekpa is fighting for Nigerian government. Many of our brothers always ask this very question. How can you say that Simon is working with Nigerian government, but Nigerian government is looking after him to arrest him? That all is just a strategy in order to deceive our people. You know, so say now, it's a strategy in order to deceive our people, which he have now come out to make it publicly plain that Fulanis must remain in our bushes, from his recent message that he drew with his own voice, which we are coming to that. But you want to first of all take this bit by bit in order to tell the Abazonians, you have an alliance with this very movement in order to get our freedom, for us to support one another. Now, when one of the people supposedly to be the people, the person whom the Afghans are listening to, is now fighting in order to protect the same enemy that we are fighting against to get our freedom, what will be the first thing in your mind after you see this very message? Just say now, what will be your first thought? What will be your first thought after seeing this very message? What will be your first thought? Now, let us now go to another one. Here also is the same tweet. The same tweet. This is the same tweet that we just read before. Because this very tweet is going on since last week on social media. You understand now? It is going on social media for some time now. And the article which I talked about, because I wrote an article. I wrote an article concerning this very write-up and tweet that he tweeted in support of the Fulanis against the people of the Afran. I wrote an article. And that very article that I wrote was on the 14th of this very month of January 2024. And here is the article that I wrote. Here is the article that I wrote. I want you to see this. I want you to see this because the Afro must be restored. And if you are dealing with somebody that's supposedly being the person that the Afrans are looking upon, and he is now publicly supporting the Fulanis, what will be your first thought? If he is supporting Fulanis against the Biafra restoration, against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, have it in mind that he is also against you. Have it in mind that if you are dealing with him, if you allow your people, the good people of Abazomia, to come close to him, they are going to extract information of your people in order to give to the Cameroonian government. The same way that he is doing so with the so-called de facto government in Biafra land, using that to extract information of our Biafran brothers and sisters in order to use it to fake a referendum in Nigeria, that when that result is being presented, the people that are supposed to be the people that voted against Nigerian government, those data will now be presented against the Biafrans as the people who vote to remain in Nigeria. I am giving you an highlight of the war that we are fighting on the ground, using WhatsApp group to fight this very war and to send this very message to our people. That is why I said this very message that I'm sending right now, I'm coming out here, it is because of you. That if you are dealing with Simon Ekpa, this is what he is doing. So I will advise you to discommunicate yourself, discommunicate your people from Simon Ekpa, because he is working with Nigerian government. Nigerian government is against the restoration of Africa. Simon is protecting the Fulanis, doing everything humanly possible in order to make sure that Biafra never come. Rather, he is fighting for a new Nigeria, which I call a new nightmare. But my problem with him is this. Why is he using Biafra as a cover-up? And when he uses Biafra as a cover-up, people like myself, we compare him, is either he changed from his evil way or that he exposed himself the more. You understand now? And this very article is one of the things that made him to expose, because this is an open, this is something that is it's fresh in the memory of the Afrans this very year 2024. I am not talking about the so-called members of the DOS that stopped all the international protests to make our voice to be heard, tapped through the grassroots of the citizens of the world, that this is what we are passing through. I am not talking about those ones. I am talking about the one that some people are still looking upon. Because I've been making this very exposition, also giving an advice for them to change. You understand now? I am also, as I was making this very exposition, I was also giving an advice. So it has gotten to a point that it is now pump and clear, and I put it out there for Biafrans to see this is what is going on. And this is my question. And that is where take us now to the very article that I wrote. Now, this is the article that I wrote. And according to what I wrote, I said, you and I know that the chief coup plotter, whom based in Finland, is not fighting for Biafra restoration. This very message is one of the messages that we have been sending this very message to our people through WhatsApp groups. And when I wrote this very article, I wrote it as if that I'm talking to Simon direct. That is why I said, you and I know that you, as the chief coup plotter, whom based in Finland, which is Simon Ekpa, is not fighting for Biafra restoration. Rather, you are fighting for a new Nigeria, aka Nightmare, alongside with Musa Masido. Who is this very Musa Masido? Musa Masido is one of the members of the New Dimension Mandate that is being given contribution to Simon Ekpa in order to keep our people in subjugation. From this very money that the Fulanis are bringing through a woman called Dr. Ngozi Orabeze, whom owned a platform called NCWS. She uses this very platform, which is a political platform, in order to promote and campaign for 2023 general election. This very Musa Masido is one of the people that she sponsored. He is from Gombe. He is from Gombe. And he ran under a party called SDP for House of Representatives, which he won on the primary election. But he couldn't make it on the secondary. This Dr. Ngozi Orabeze, Musa Masido, they are all in this nightmare, which they call New Nigeria. And another lady called Dorothy Adane Anthony, I don't know, Choma M. Okoma. Each and every one of them are in this very quest of new nightmare, which they call New Nigeria. And this is one of the things that I remind our people of Biafrans through this very message that we are preaching on WhatsApp groups. And I said that they are using Biafra as a cover-up to fight for New Nigeria, which I call New Nightmare, which all their plans is already dead on arrival. One of those plans that have been dead on arrival is the issue of the de facto government in Biafra land. This very issue of de facto government in Biafra land is a strategic plan in order to put it in place to extract information, data of the Biafrans, so that they can use this very data against the Biafra in order to use it to blackmail Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. I am going to elaborate a little bit on this because I don't know how long this very message is going to take. I don't know how long these very messages take. And I'm giving you this very detail by detail so that when you take your time to listen to this very message, you can now begin to see that Simon is not fighting for this very movement to be restored. He is not fighting for Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to be released. Rather, he is fighting to make sure that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu remain in DSS dungeon. And like I said, the members of the DOS are not excluded, but they are these are not the people that I'm talking about today. You know what I'm saying now? I told them that they are using Biafra as a cover-up to fight for New Nigeria, which I call New Nightmare. Their plan is dead on arrival. Their plan is the issue in connection with the de facto government. This very de facto government is being controlled by Simon, Musa Masidu, Dr. Ngozi Orabeze, Dorothy Adane Anthony. I don't know which, each and every one of them that are top officials in that they are very Biafran Republic government in exile. Their game plan is to use this very data against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu because sometimes Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was met by the Nigerian government for him to give away and denounce this very movement. As always, because they came up with a plan of this issue of de facto government and they saw a willing tool that is going to be an ally to them in order to fight against this very movement. What did they do? As they met with Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu told them that the only thing that is going to make them in order to abandon this very movement is if they conduct a referendum to the people of Biafra, and Biafran people will now decide if they want to belong to Nigeria or they want to abandon this very quest for Biafra movement. That is the only thing. This very information was given to Simon. the chief coup plotter. He took this very information to social media on the 8th, 9th, and the 10th of October 2023. And he wrote in that very article, with so many things he wrote there, he said that if Mazen Nnamdi Kanu comes out and ask the Afrans to abandon this very movement, that no Biafra should listen to Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. This is what he said. I made this very exposition. I elaborate on this. I told my people that this is a plan. That was the day that I started calling him the chief coup plotter. Our people don't really understand. Few weeks to months later, they come up with this very de facto government to extract information. Whom are the people that are leading it? Dr. Ngos Orabeze, Musa Masidu, Simon Ekpa, a whole lot of them. I told the Afrans that this is the game plan. They have to first of all set Mazen Nnamdi Kanu up to get this very message from Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. And Mazen Nnamdi Kanu will tell them this is his stand. They now use Simon as a willing tool in order to do what? To get the data of the Afrans through the de facto government so that they can now use it as the people that voted against the Afra. And now, this very document will now be presented to Mazen Nnamdi Kanu by the United Nations official and whosoever that is responsible for the referendum to be conducted for the people that are willing to separate from a forceful marriage being put together. And Mazen Nnamdi Kanu will now come out to say, let the Afrans will be done according to the document presented to him. That is where Simon now has to first of all prepare himself for that very nightmare that he put himself today to come upon Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. That is where this very message is going on. That I said, according to my article on the 14th of this very January 2024, that you, as the chief coup plotter and your members of cabinet, you are using Biafra as a cover-up to fight for new nightmare, which your plan or all your plans are already dead on arrival. And I asked him a question. Was I the one? Was I, Mazi Odinke Mankandele Nwachineke? Was I the one that told you to betray Mazen Nnamdi Kanu as he has warned you when he recommended you and so many other people for us to listen to you? The answer is no. I ask a question again. Was I the one that told the top officials of the members of the DOS to betray Mazen Nnamdi Kanu even before he was kidnapped? The answer is no. And I said, according to my article, if you betray this very movement, you are gone. The only thing that will save you is confession before the Afrans. If you want not your generation to be possessed by the cause that you brought upon yourself. And this very confession will and must be done on social media. This is why I say that if the so-called or some of the so-called comrades in this very movement, if they fail to do the right thing, people like myself, Mazi Odinke Mankandele Nwachineke, we compel them. We compel them in order to do what? Is either they expose themselves the more or they return back. And in this case, the chief coup plotter Simon Ekpa have already proven beyond the doubt that he is not coming back again. And I went on to say on my article, I saw a post that you made campaigning for the killings of the Fulanis. That it was then that I know that they have started manipulating you to make posts on their behalf, because you are now on their payroll of 4,500 euros every month. I saw a post The post that I'm talking about was the post that I just showed you, where he was using his Twitter handle in order to expose an army general that said that they arrested 11 Fulanis, keep them in a forest somewhere in Kaduna. Simon is now making a program, an exposition, using a supposedly platform that meant for Biafra to be restored, that meant for our people to use their common sense to fight our enemy, for our people to understand that we have nothing in common with the Fulanis. We have nothing with the people that they will come forcefully in order to take your land. Instead of using that very platform in order to educate, to fight against these people, he is now using the platform to campaign for these people not to be killed in Nigeria. They also say now, this very message, like I said, is going directly to Dr. Cho Ayaba. Is going directly to Dr. Cho Ayaba. Because if I'm to send this very message to our people, I will use WhatsApp message in order to do that. Simon is using a supposedly platform that are meant for Biafra to be restored, that are meant for Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to be released unconditionally. He is now using this very platform to campaign for Fulanis not to be killed by the Nigerian government as the terrorists that they are. A Zoo Nigerian army reported that they arrested 11 Fulanis in Kaduna Forest. Simon Ekpa, according to my write-up, you, the chief coup plotter, whom based in Finland, tweeted on it to tell El Rufai that the army man was lying by saying that they arrested them, and he is now telling the Fulani government led by the Fulanis that the army general is not telling the truth, that they should investigate the army man. This is what Simon is telling the Fulanis, using his platform in order to make this very exposition, telling the Fulani Caliphate that they should investigate the army man, the army general, and if found guilty, that he should be court-martialed. He went ahead to tell El Rufai that he made an exposition on this very evidence that he presented to them. According to my article, you are telling them that whatever Simon, tell them that they should believe it because he is at their service. And I went on to say, a supposed platform that you are meant to use for the Afro restoration, and now you have turned it for the service of the Fulanis. And my question, this is where my question, and from this very question is where the current activities follow up by his voice, because he is now being manipulated. And that is why I said to you, if you are working with Simon Ekpa, I am sending this very message direct to you, Dr. Cho Ayaba. You have to desist from him, if only if you are genuine. Because this is how my message starts. Biafra is going to be a beacon of hope for all Africa. And if anybody is allying with Biafra and Biafra movement, or the people that are supposed to be the frontiers, if there is any exposition being done against that very people that you are allying yourself with, first thing you have to do is to do what? Desist yourself immediately and begin to ask relevant questions. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is our leader. He is the beacon of hope to our Africans. Biafra restoration is going to be the beacon of hope for our Africans. If you find yourself allying with any Biafran agitator, and there is an evidence, a proven evidence that the person or the people that you align yourself with, they are not genuine, and you have seen the proof, the first thing that will come to your mind immediately that you are getting this very message is to do what? Is to desist and ask your people to excommunicate themselves with that very individual. And this comes to my next question that I wrote on that very article. And I said, my question to you, Simon, what will be your defense when I, Maz Odinkeman Kendlin Wachineka, make an exposition against you using this post you made? Because if you delete it, I have the copy already screen recorded from your own Twitter handle. So my question is, what will be your defense by defending the Fulanis with a question mark? And I ask again, are you not fighting the Fulanis? Rather, you are not protecting them. Let me ask you again, Simon Ekpa. Who are those being sent to come and rape our mothers and kill our fathers in the bushes? Are they not Fulanis? These are my questions. Who are those in the army and the police which you made several expositions against them between 2021 2022? Are they not the Fulanis and the Boko Haram whom are being recruited into the Nigerian army and police? That he himself made so many expositions against them. I ask again, who are the people that the Nigerian government, under the control of Fulanis, will send to Biafra land to massacre Biafrans? And from which channel? Are they not Fulani? From which channel? Is it not our bushes? Are they the people that you are now protecting? I ask again, what will be your defense if Biafrans, with this very write-up made by Maz Odinkeman Kendlin Wachineke, if they begin to call on your broadcast to ask you questions or begin to throw questions on your comment section, what will be your defense? Get ready, because the time is fast approaching. The time is fast approaching. 14th January 2024. This is Mazi Odinkeman Kendlin Wachineke. End of the post. Now, Dr. Cho Ayaba, according to one of your message, you said it took 55 years to occupy our land. This message, you are directing it to the Cameroonian government, but 7 years to dismantle and confuse the occupations. Now, the person that you are allying yourself with, because he presented himself, Mazen Namdekan nominated him, and so many other people. Now, with these very facts that we have just brought to you, what will be your reaction? What will be your reaction? What will be your reaction? Because this very message that we are sending today is to make sure that not only that for you to understand that he is not fighting for Biafra restoration, but also that Biafra must come in truth and honesty. And anybody who is working against this very movement, no matter how the person tries to deceive our people, one way or the other, the person is going to be the person is going to expose himself. One way or the other, because people like myself, Maz Odinkeman Kendlin Wachineke, we compel them. Is either they expose themselves the more, or they change from their evil ways. Is either they expose themselves the more, or they change from their evil ways. These two things. Another abanari. Now, in order for him to show his solidarity to the Fulani that are coming to kill and rape our people, join Nigerian Boko Haram terrorist group, being recruited into the police and army, giving them top position in order to have the first class hand in order to kill our people. Simon is now telling you that they are no longer interested on those foot soldiers. And this very message that I'm about to play right now is from the voice of Simon Ayaba. He is sending this message to Biafrans, giving his solidarity to the Fulanis. He is also using this very message to tell you that he is against you, that is fighting for the Cameroon, for the Abazonian freedom. Listen to it.
These are people without vision, people that doesn't know their left and their right. They started using gun, going to bushes to start shooting animals in the name of chasing Fulani.
Did you hear what he said? You heard what he said. This message is directed to you too and the Abazonian people. The article that you wrote just a few days ago, you wrote and said it took the occupants 55 years to occupy the land of the Amazonia. This is what he said. But it took the Amazonian people 7 years to dismantle and confuse the enemies. In the other side, the person that you are allying yourself with is now telling you that you are very stupid. Simon is telling you that you are very foolish for pursuing Fulanis out from your land, for pursuing the people that are killing you out of your land. This is what he's saying. This is the message. This is what he's telling you. He said that you are very, very stupid. This is not coming from us or in Keman Kandilin watching again. This is coming from Simon Ayaba. You say that it took you 55 years. It took the enemy 55 years to occupy your land, but it took you 7 years to dismantle and confuse the occupants. That the land or the territory of the Amazonia is now in the hand of the Amazonian people. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying now. This is your write-up. This is your write-up. It took the enemy 55 years in order to occupy your land, in order to rape your people, in order to do all manner of atrocities against the Amazonian people. You understand what I'm saying now? It took them 55 years in order to do all manner of atrocities. It took them 55 years to kill your people at their own will. It took them 55 years to rape your people, to support the Fulanis, to support Boko Haram in your own land. But it took you 7 years. It took you 7 years to dismantle and confuse the enemy. That the land or the territory of the Amazonia in Cameroon is now in the hands of the Amazonian people. Now, the person that you are allying yourself with, whom is one of the people that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, he recommended him along with other people that they or we should listen to them, but also warn them, Mordechai Simon, that he should not allow the devil to enter him. This is his message. In 2024, he gave his solidarity to the Fulanis through his Twitter handle. Now using his own voice in order to tell and solicit for Fulanis to remain in the Biafran territory in Biafran bush. Joshua say now, to remain in Biafran bush. Now, what is your thought after saying this? Because like I said, people like myself, if I compare you to do the right thing, and you refuse to do that right thing, then you are going to be forced in order to expose yourself the more. This is what just happened. He first of all made a tweet. I ask a question. The people that you are protecting, they are Fulanis. These are people coming to our bushes, destroying the farmland of our mothers and our fathers in various villages, communities, killing our people in numbers, massacring our people, that he himself, Simon Ekpa, made numerous expositions against them between 2021 and 2022. Now he is now showing solidarity to them, backing up with his own voice. You know what I'm saying now? This is live presentation today, the 21st of January 2024. And we are live direct. We are live and direct. This very message is going, also, it is also going to our people. It is also going to our people. Let me play that very message. Let me play that very message so that you, Dr. Ayaba, you can now hear what Simon said about you and your effort for 7 good years. He said that you are stupid, that you are very foolish. He said that you are not wise. How can you be pursuing Fulanis, the people that are killing your own people in your own land? How can you boast that it took you 7 years, in order to dismantle and confuse the enemies that are occupying, killing your people, raping your mothers, with just a single tweet and a voice note? With just a single tweet and a voice note. That is why I said, you are dealing with him. If your people are dealing with him, after getting this very message, begin to do the necessary thing, because I have made this kind of message before. I have made this kind of message before. Today is the second time that I'm making this very message. Today is the second time that I am making this very message. Listen to what he said to you. In order to disregard your effort for 7 years, this message that he tweeted, also using his voice to back it up, he is now inviting the Cameroon into your land. Now, let me tell you what is going to happen. Let me tell you what is going to happen. Let me tell you what is going to happen. Let me tell you what is going to happen. How many times did I say it? Because many people don't know me. I can prophesize what is going to happen through my write-up. It is not me doing it. The situation will connect with the spirit of our land. In order to connect with that very issue that I want to deal with, my brain and my hand will be doing the typing. Something goes when I'm making an exposition. If I'm making an analysis, let the people in concern, let them hear what I'm talking about. What is going to happen The Cameroonian government will align with Simon Ekpa. I want you to pay attention. The Cameroonian government will align themselves with Simon Ekpa. More especially now that he has succeeded, in order to show his solidarity and sworn his allegiance to the Fulanis using his social media, the Cameroonian government are going to come for him in order to fight your people. Take this message or leave it. Take this very message or leave it. The Cameroonian government, they are going to align with him in order to do what? To fight your people. So whatever alliance or whatever thing that you are doing with him in the name of restoring Abazomia and Biafra, Amazon Namdekano, and also your own leader, desist yourself from that. Desist yourself from that. I have given you my message. Now let us listen to this before we come to the end of this very program.
Not come. These are people without vision, people that doesn't know their left and their right. They started using den gun, going to bushes to start shooting animals in the name of chasing Fulani. We are not chasing any ethnic group from our land. I have made it very clear. If you go after ethnic group, you become a terrorist. We are.
Did you listen to that? If you listen to that, your work for 7 years, this is what the person that called himself alliance to the Abazonian people, this is what he said. This is his support. Not only that he made a tweet about it, he have to use his voice because he is now being manipulated by the Fulanis. He is now on a full service to the Fulanis. He is now on a full service to the Fulanis. Send this very message to Dr. Cho Ayaba and the Abazonian people. Let this message get to them. Let this very message get to them. And I come to an end of this very program. My name is still Mazi Odinkeman Kendelen watching again. Anybody that is fighting against this very movement, if you want to redeem yourself and you are fighting against this very movement through social media, your confession will also be done on social media. This is what I said. This is Mazi Odinkeman Kendelen watching saying it. If you are committing nuisance against this very movement using social media for you to redeem yourself and that of your unborn generation, for them not to carry on with the cause that you have brought upon them, you are also going to make your exposition, your confession on how you are working with the Fulanis on social media. I have been saying this before. And this is part of the spiritual cleansing, because whatever was said, I am using myself as an example. If I made an exposition or if I use my hand to write, connecting with the land of Biafra, I am exposing a lot of things. Also giving the opportunity for the people that are betraying this very struggle for them to come back to their senses and do the right thing. So it's either you change or you expose yourself the more. Shalom.
Biafra did not come. These are people without vision, people that doesn't know their left and their right. They started using den gun, going to bushes to start shooting animals in the name of chasing Fulani. We are not chasing any ethnic group from our land. I have made it very clear. If you go after ethnic group, you become a terrorist. We are not going after ethnic groups. We are going after the terrorist army, police, and every Nigerian forces that carries gun. That is the people we are going after. Because once you go after them, you have uprooted the people in the bush. bush. If you go after ethnic group in the name of fighting Fulani, you are a terrorist. This is the international law that many idiots don't know. If you go after Fulani in the forest in the name of fighting terrorism, Biafra did not come. These are people without vision, people that doesn't know their left and their right. They started using den gun, going to bushes to start shooting animals in the name of chasing Fulani. We are not chasing any ethnic group from our land. I have made it very clear. If you go after ethnic group, you become a terrorist. We are not going after ethnic groups. We are going after the terrorist army, police, and every Nigerian forces that carries gun. That is the people we are going after. Because once you go after them, you have uprooted the people in the bush. If you go after ethnic group in the name of fighting Fulani, you are a terrorist. This is the international law that many idiots don't know. If you go after Fulani in the forest in the name of fighting terrorism, Biafra did not come. These are people without vision, people that doesn't know their left and their right. They started using den gun, going to bushes to start shooting animals in the name of chasing Fulani. We are not chasing any ethnic group from our land. I have made it very clear. If you go after ethnic group, you become a terrorist. We are not going after ethnic groups. We are going after the terrorist army, police, and every Nigerian forces that carries gun. That is the people we are going after. Because once you go after them, you have uprooted the people in the bush. If you go after ethnic group in the name of fighting Fulani, you are a terrorist. This is the international law that many idiots don't know. If you go after Fulani in the forest in the name of fighting terrorism, Biafra did not come. These are people without vision, people that doesn't know their left and their right. They started using den gun, going to bushes to start shooting animals in the name of chasing Fulani. We are not chasing any ethnic group from our land. I have made it very clear. If you go after ethnic group, you become a terrorist. We are not going after ethnic groups. We are going after the terrorist army, police, and every Nigerian forces that carries gun. That is the people we are going after. Because once you go after them, you have uprooted the people in the bush. If you go after ethnic group in the name of fighting Fulani, you are a terrorist. This is the international law that many idiots don't know. If you go after Fulani in the forest in the name of fighting terrorism, Biafra did not come. These are people without vision, people that doesn't know their left and their right. They started using den gun, going to bushes to start shooting animals in the name of chasing Fulani. We are not chasing any ethnic group from our land. I have made it very clear. If you go after ethnic group, you become a terrorist. We are not going after ethnic groups. We are going after the terrorist army, police, and every Nigerian forces that carries gun. That is the people we are going after. Because once you go after them, you have uprooted the people in the bush. If you go after ethnic group in the name of fighting Fulani, you are a terrorist. This is the international law that many idiots don't know. If you go after Fulani in the forest in the name of fighting terrorism,